au studio pendant 60 minutes.
On va jaser avec eux un petit peu plus tard, mais pour le moment, on commence ça en prestation. Voici Sleepwalker!
Throw your body all over the bridge.
Restez les nôtres un peu plus tard. Des gens qui se sont déplacés pour venir nous voir aujourd'hui vont pouvoir poser leurs questions à Megadeth.
Et tout de suite après la pause, le groupe est en entrevue. Bougez pas, live à Musique Plus.
Yeah! Megadeth live à Musique Plus, ça se poursuit. C'est vraiment un plaisir et un privilège d'avoir ce groupe légendaire avec nous aujourd'hui. On va aller rejoindre Shelly qui est justement sur la scène avec les boys.
Merci, Reg. Welcome, guys. Welcome. I don't think you can't even hear.
I can't hear you.
Your fans are so happy to see you.
Hello.
This guy's red.
It's gonna explode.
Yeah. Thank you so much for stopping by.
You're welcome.
Very, very happy to have you here, as you can see. Your 11th album, United Abominations, is out, and also, I mean, it's kind of weird because at one point we were thinking that we would not have a next album for Megadeth after System Has Failed. So what changed that?
Well, after my arm had gotten injured, I didn't know if I was going to play again. And The System Has Failed was actually a solo record. And I found out in the middle of doing that record for my publishing company that in order for me to go forward as an artist, I owed them another Megadeth record. And I took the risk of changing it back to a Megadeth record. Bottom line is it sounds like a Megadeth record. And I fulfilled my commitment. But then when I met Glenn, we started playing together. And then his brother came into the picture. And we had another bass player at the time. And just playing with Glenn and Sean was so rewarding for me, playing with people again who really love to play music and just excited me. I started, besides the terrible music that Glenn listens to in his iPod, you know, I listened to some of the stuff and it really excited me again because he's listening to stuff like, you know, Barbecued Babies and, you know, stuff like that. And one of the things he was listening to that inspired me, actually, I can't believe I'm saying this, was Celtic Frost. And,
Wow, yeah.
and we just got excited, and then James came into the picture, and everything just kind of came together again. So going into United Abominations, it was just a no-brainer. I remember I was in Argentina when I made the decision that we were going to continue on, and as soon as we started playing together, it just felt right when the four of us finally came together for this record.
Okay, it was natural. It was organic.
Organic, yeah.
Well, I don't know. It was just natural.
Yeah, that's a good word, organic.
You just felt it. I don't know. I'm adding to your. But how would you describe this album then? Could you compare it to previous Megadeth albums?
Well, for me, it's kind of a step back in time a little bit because it's more about the guitar and it's more about the riffs. And I've kind of gotten into a period where the record company I was with, Capitol Records, had wanted us to continue to follow the success of Countdown to Extinction. After that came out, it was #2 in America. Euthanasia came out, it was #4 in America. And if you're in a record company, face it, you want to sell records. So if you've got a big dog in your kennel and you're saying, okay, this is a winner, let's continue to make them do the same thing. Well, I wasn't good at being made to do anything. So after a while, I just said, I don't want to do this anymore. And I went back to what I feel the best about, which is kicking on guitar. You know what I mean?
I think many people share this with you.
Yeah, I think so.
They share the feeling. The feeling is mutual. The first single off this album is a new version of À Tout le Monde. And this song was unfortunately linked to a really sad event that occurred here in Montreal last September. And as you know, there was a shooting at Dawson College. And the man who did this attack claimed to be one of your big fans and who had listened to this song numerous times before even doing this act. How do you feel about this?
That wasn't a fan of mine. There's no way. These are fans.
How did you react when you first heard that news?
I was pissed. Montreal has meant so much to me. I remember when you had the ice storm many, many years ago, we'd had a concert and we said, we're going to make all these backstage passes available to the fans if they will bring food and blankets for the shelters because the city was shut down. And me being an American and coming up here when there were Americans in the bands and we didn't have the fact half of Megadeth is Canadian now, but at that point it was all an American band. I did that because I recognized the country and the city and their love for me, and I needed to do the right thing back. So no matter what anybody tries to say about that tragic incident, that Megadeth has got roots here long before that tragedy. It's unfortunate that it happened. These things do happen, but more people die listening to other types of music, especially hip-hop and rap.
Yeah, that's very true. Have you ever thought of what you would have said to him Have you ever thought of what you would have said if he would?
If I would have met
you
that guy, I would have
faced
said, "I
him?
love you. You got to change your life, bud, because you're heading down a very bad path." I can't see how anybody could look at this guy's website and see all of the stuff and what he was saying and the pictures that he was showing on his website, and people didn't see this is a person crying for help. I've really made myself accessible to our fans over the years and really got involved in a lot of their lives, whether it's through songs or through our website or through directly calling or emailing them or any of that kind of stuff, because our website and the people who run it are really involved in you know, when we can do community service kind of stuff like that. And I personally believe that this was a person that had issues that were way deeper than music can touch. You need professional help for stuff like that.
Yeah. Going back to the song, though, it's not the first time that it's wrongly interpreted. MTV with the video.
No.
What are your thoughts about that? Why do you think it's so misinterpreted, and how do you feel about that?
Well, I think if you read the lyrics to the song and you know how to read, you can see that there's a line in there that says, "I'd love to stay with you all." Now, a guy that's suicidal doesn't love to stay. He wants to go, right?
Right, exactly.
I mean, if I'd love to blow my brains out, that's suicidal. I'd love to stay with you all means, hey, you know what? I'm sorry I died. I want to come back. You know, I had skydived with a guy named Patrick Swayze, a famous actor. He was in a movie called Roadhouse, and he trained at the same martial arts school that I did. And I watched his fighting techniques in there. I thought, I recognize that. And the next couple of days, I'd gone skydiving, and here he is in the same plane I'm jumping out of. Now, that's insane to jump out of a perfectly operating airplane anyways, but I thought, you know what, we have a bond in two different areas. And then he came out with this movie called Ghost. And in the movie, he had died, and he wanted to come back and tell this woman he loved, you know, just he wanted to be there for her. And that's basically what the song's about. If you die, and you have a chance to come back, and you can say one thing to anybody, or you're going to say, "Oh my God, you killed me, you idiot." Or are you going to say, "You know what, I love you," and you know, just kind of move on?
Yeah, make the most of it. Yeah. For this new version, you've also included Christina Scabias from Lacuna Coil vocal on it.
Right.
What led you to collaborate with this woman?
Well, none of these guys' voices were high enough.
Really? Come on. Yeah.
Well, when the song basically got banned by MTV in America, the radio stations in MTV followed MTV2. I mean, the radio stations in America followed MTV2. So the song pretty much didn't get its chance. And besides it being a fan favorite and a lot of people identifying with the song, it just really never got the exposure that it did. And living with that, it just continued to eat at me. And I thought, you know what, it would be really great at some point to try and work this song back into some kind of reintroduction to the world instead of just letting it kind of fall on the floor because MTV didn't like it. Yeah. And it wasn't that they didn't like it, they just didn't want us to use the director that we did, and the manager that we had at the time had tried to trick them and said that it was a different director. They got pissed and banned it. So when the opportunity came to redo the song, I thought, you know, it'd be great to have a duet. And we had a couple of different girls that we thought about, and when Christina came in, it was absolutely perfect.
That's what made it perfect. Was she there in the studio with you? Were you together?
No, no. She recorded it in England. I had gone over there with Glenn to finish up the record with a guy named Andy Sneap, who's a huge metal producer right now, very successful. Hello, Andy. Anyways, and she came in a couple days after I'd left. So fortunately for me too, because I'm sure that, you know, the way I like to get involved in fixing stuff, I probably would have made it uncomfortable for her.
But I'm sure it was a great experience for her. Did she ever share that with you? Did you ever speak?
We saw her at the video shoot. We were doing it right before we came up to Vancouver. We'd shot a video. Our schedule is so nuts. It's like that, you know, just one day to the next, just nonstop work.
No kidding, yeah.
And we'd seen her. She came at the end of the shoot for us, and then they went back to wherever, and she spent the night in Los Angeles, filmed the next day when we were on our way back to our homes and then up to Vancouver. So we actually were never in the same frame together.
Wow. Okay, okay. Well, do you think your fans are going to like this new version?
I don't care.
They love that answer. That's what they love. That's what they love. Well, speaking